Okay, let's do something about this. This is what starts the road down to diabetes. We always encounter type 2 diabetes. I wanted to make sure no one had to go to that route, prevent people from going to the hospital. I only worked at the hospital level.
Good morning. It's Randy Bett with Las Vegas Spotlights, specifically for our health and wellness portion of these podcasts. And today we're joined by Dr. Taitano here at the Instant Care Medical Clinic here in Las Vegas. And today we're going to learn more about diabetes, type 2 diabetes, and some products that you can use with that. Before we get into that, we want to find out a little bit more about yourself. Can you share with us who you are and what you've done here?
Sure. My name is Johnathan Taitano. I'm a physician here in Las Vegas, as we just said. I actually did my training here at Valley Hospital Medical Center. Spent the first part of my career as a hospitalist, which meant I only worked at the hospital level, so the highest level of care here in the state. After my kids started coming around, I decided to come out of the hospital because the hours and the days were so long. So then I started doing clinic. And when I got into clinic, my mission for myself was to prevent people from going to the hospital. Because unfortunately, I saw all the end stage results of uncontrolled diabetes, uncontrolled hypertension, which would lead to strokes, heart attacks, things of that sort. So I wanted to make sure no one had to go to that route. So that's why I started kind of really hammering down on clinic to prevent hospitalizations.
Perfect. Okay, well, now why don't we dig it into a little bit more about my question here is what first drew you to focus on metabolic health? And then, of course, how is it affecting type 2 diabetes? Okay, and then we'll talk about a product that you found that is helpful.
Absolutely. So what actually drew me to metabolic health was that as an internal medicine physician, we're taught all of this, because as far on the medical side, any specialist who was on the medical side had to be internal medicine first.
Right.
So we always encountered type 2 diabetes. My draw to it was that, one, there's millions upon millions of Americans who have to deal with it, but a lot of it could have been prevented because there is a condition called insulin resistance. This is what starts the road down to diabetes, high blood pressure, increased cholesterol. And this are things you can see decade before the development of type 2 diabetes.
Wow.
Usually when I find someone who is pre-diabetic, I'm like, okay, let's do something about this. Let's talk about diet. Let's talk about medication. Let's talk about exercise, anything that can help reverse it, because I never want anyone to actually progress to diabetes. So like I said, just with the millions of Americans who are diabetic, there's even more with what we call the metabolic syndrome. Insulin resistance, pre-diabetes, these are all part of it. Obesity, all part of it.
Wow. Okay. So then going further, then a lot of people are told that type 2 diabetes is number one chronic and it's progressive. Okay. In your experience and what you're doing right now, how can that metabolic support and these changes help that or prevent that?
Okay. So it can actually reverse type 2 diabetes. Now, is it progressive? Yes. If you don't do anything about it, if you're on the wrong medications, if you're still living the lifestyle that got you there in the first place, then yes, it absolutely is progressive. And it becomes what we call uncontrolled diabetes. And that's when we start getting a lot of the issues, the neuropathy, the tingling in the hands, the burning, the vision issues, kidney issues. These are major things. So what's it called? So that's why it is important to, again, catch these things early on.
Right. And you were mentioning that you could actually do this ahead of time. You could see signals.
Yes, absolutely. So when I draw blood work, I look at your fasting blood sugar, something called the A1C, which is the marker that shows me 3 months of your metabolic health, 3 months of your blood sugar. Okay. It is also the marker we use to diagnose prediabetes as well as diabetes. And is also the marker we use to manage diabetes. So when I start seeing these things being off, I already know that they have a metabolic syndrome and it can progress. So that's why I try as hard as I possibly can to intervene.
I see. So then you've been talking before with us in a different setting here about using products from Unicity. Number one, what is it and how does it help?
Okay. So Unicity is a company that has all plant-based products. There's a product group called the Feel Great. It consists of two different types of products. The first one is called Balance. Balance is, in the simplest terms, a fiber, but a very, very potent fiber. There's 7 different types of fiber in it. And this product was actually studied by the Cleveland Clinic in a double-blind study. What that means on my side of the world is that a double-blind study means they removed all bias. So anything that comes out of it as far as results is pretty much gospel. Okay. So Cleveland Clinic did it, and it did show that it decreased A1C, it decreased cholesterol, improved cardiovascular health, to the point where it even got placed inside the PDR, which stands for Physician Desk Reference. And all doctors have a copy of this. This one shows natural alternatives to pharmacological treatment. And unless the product has been put through the ringer multiple times, it does not get inside that book. So the second one is called Unamate. Unamate is a concentrated form of the herb yerba mate, which has been used forever in South America. It increases your energy levels. It does have a little bit of caffeine, not as much as, say, a cup of coffee. But more importantly, it increases what's called the GLP-1. So the GLP-1 is Ozempic or semaglutide, things like that. The very, very popular weight loss shots. Thing is, the Unamate increases it by about 67% and also prevents the degradation of it inside your body. Again, it's a natural booster. So you also don't get the side effects of the injections. The most common one is nausea. Like I use it in my clinic. I use it on diabetics. Majority of them come back, I got a little bit nauseous. Well, yeah, it's part of the side effect profile. I have yet to find that in anyone who has ever taken the products.
Okay. So that leads me into the next question. Then, what kind of results have you seen, using Unicity, both on the metabolic side, the fatigue, and so on?
Okay. So the results I've seen is a decrease of the A1C, decrease of cholesterol, also as well as decrease of blood pressure. Now, not that these things decrease blood pressure on their own, it's because it's associated with weight loss. For a majority of people, losing weight will control blood pressure to the point where if they're on blood pressure medication, I immediately take them off of it. For every pound you lose, it's a few points off your blood pressure. So these products do help with weight loss.
Interesting. So if you were to have somebody come in and they go through the blood work and so on, what type of time frame before you get the results back and before you can make some recommendations?
So usually what I tell people is to come in, we do initial consultation, do initial blood work, kind of see where we are. Then start the products, and I usually say 90 days.
90 days.
Reason is because 90 days will get you more consistent, but also the A1C recycles every 90 days. Okay, because the A1C proper term is the hemoglobin A1C. It is the sugar tag that's attached to every single red blood cell. Lifespan of a red blood cell is 90 days. So that's why I usually say 90 days. And at the end of that, I will draw blood work again to show the decreases.
Okay. So what I'm hearing, these are kind of these 90-day increments, using the product, changing your lifestyle, exercise, and so on. Does your diet affect that as well? Do you ever do recommendations there?
So I always recommend diet because that, unfortunately, is what got us in this position in the first place for the vast majority of Americans. Now, here's the greatest part about this product is that we don't tell you to change your diet. Because most physicians just say diet and exercise. It's not that easy in America, especially not for working class people. So we just say, just take the product. They're like, what do you want me to eat? For now, eat whatever it is that you normally eat. Because what you're going to do is you're going to find that you're going to start to shy away from the stuff that your body does not need or does not want. And the reason for that, again, is the GLP-1 that is found or is boosted through the Unamate, because that was one of the keys of the injection. What made it so successful is it actually rewired your brain as far as feelings of satiety, meaning feeling full, as well as leaning away from foods that just aren't good for you. Yeah. So that's one of the ways that it helps.
Perfect. Okay. No, that sounds awesome. So then what we have here then, folks, is we have the opportunity to come in, get the test done, get the recommendations, start on a protocol, a program, all right, with a product that's readily available right here in Las Vegas, across the US, as a matter of fact. So now to get started then, how do we get a hold of you? What's the best way to get a hold of your clinic and so on?
Okay, well, we do have a website, Instant Care Medical Clinic. Just Google us, we will pop up. And if you already have a physician, just ask them to check for your metabolic health, things such as the lipid panel, A1C, as well as a fasting insulin, because these things will show where you are as far as in the spectrum. If you don't have a physician, be more than happy to see you and start the process. And one thing I should mention also, why we do it in 90-day increments, is because we have a 90-day money-back guarantee. As long as you do the product for at least half the time, if you're not satisfied, more importantly, objectively, if I draw your blood work and there's been no change to your cholesterol, to your A1C, to your weight, you get the full 90 days back. So natural product, 90-day back guarantee, and I'm not asking you to change anything about yourself. You'll find yourself changing with the use of the product, but you don't have to do anything special to start.
Perfect. That sounds great. So reach out to Dr. Taitano here at the Instant Care Medical Clinic. Well, I want to thank you so much for joining us here today.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, and reach out to anybody here at the clinic. Obviously, they'll get you booked in here right away. Again, it's a 90-day program protocol, easy to follow, and you know what? If the discipline is that easy, heck, I can even do it. Thank you very much.
You're welcome.